Hi, it's Dave here, and this is my wife, Kathy.
Hello.
This is the Cinemile, the podcast where we walk home from the movies. Today we are going to see Spider-Man, Brand New Day. It is the newest movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the fourth Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland.
And we're in our car because it's raining, so it sounds really nice in here. And also, it's the first Tom Holland movie that doesn't have the word home in it. Yay!
Oh, wow, well done. Guys, you did it.
We're really excited for this. One of our listeners did message me pointing out that they've heard me saying I'm never going to see a Marvel movie again, like too many times to count.
Yeah, because we, if you haven't seen it, we just reposted all our other chats about the Spider-Man Tom Holland movies all this week. So that's in your feed.
And I apparently swore off them in the second one.
You did. It wasn't just the Spider-Man movies.
No,
you did that times. At every movie.
Many times.
Every MCU movie.
But here we are back again. We're buzzing. We can't wait for Spidey.
How are you, before we talk about Spider-Man, where are you at with the MCU? Where's your head at?
So I've rolled my eyes at it 1,000 times. I've turned my nose up at it. I've seen every single TV show and movie, I believe.
No, you haven't.
No?
We stopped watching the
we
TV
stopped
shows.
watching
Oh my
some
God,
of the TV shows.
TV shows got so
we
bad.
stopped watching some of the TV shows.
We had to check out for our sanity.
We watched most of them though, right?
No, for a while we watched it. No, we missed loads.
The last one I really enjoyed was She-Hulk. And I'm Devo, that never got picked up again. That was really fun.
We watched one episode of Secret Invasion. I think that's the one that pushed us over the edge, and we were like, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah, we gave up after Secret Invasion. She-Hulk was great though, and the early days of the TV shows when we had like WandaVision.
It peaked at WandaVision. They peaked on the first TV show, and it was all downhill.
Loki was great as well though.
Loki was okay.
Yeah, and I think there's been a few other ones, but they've been anyway.
It was Okie Loki.
We've had a welcome reprieve from the movies, I think, for a while. What was the last movie we saw?
Was it Deadpool and Wolverine last year? Or was that 2 years ago?
Who
knows?
I feel like there was an Ant-Man.
It was Fantastic Four last year. That was
Fantastic Four, but I feel like there was a rogue Ant-Man in the last few years.
There was a rogue Ant-Man. There was an Ant-Man on the loose.
Look, we'll have reviewed it anyway. I'm pretty sure we slated it.
Basically, post-Endgame, they got greedy. They made 1,000 TV shows and they released 9 movies a year, and everyone just went no.
Yeah.
We all just choked on all the content they tried to force feed us.
Yeah, we did.
And also none of it was good. Almost none of it was good. Or at best it was average. Has there been a truly memorable cinematic experience since Endgame? Arguably the last Spider-Man.
The last
movie,
Spidey, yeah.
Which was a great thing to watch with a cinema audience. But other than that, the MCU is tired.
Spidey is their big light, right? And we're here for it, and we're excited for it. We even did a Spider-Man season this week, releasing all our old episodes.
They don't even own it. Sony own it.
Yeah, and then I mean all that stuff that happened with the actor who played Kang.
Yeah.
And the subsequent basically rewriting of where the franchise was going, on top of the fact that the franchise was already kind of at death's door.
And it's incoherent.
And now they've spent something like, I saw something like 100 million to get Robert Downey Jr. back.
Yeah.
They spent something
just
insane.
For him.
Yeah.
Just for him.
So,
just a cool Hundy Mill for our DJ's pockets.
And they're bringing back, because we've seen a trailer for the Avengers that's coming out this December. They're bringing back Thor.
It's called Avengers Desperate Times.
They're bringing back Thor. They're bringing back, is it Captain America?
Yeah.
Like this, they're bringing them all back.
Oh, don't worry. Oh, you don't like any of our new characters?
Yeah.
Oh, here's all the old ones.
So anyway, look, we'll be there to see that this December.
Of course we'll be there.
So in terms of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm very intrigued to see where it ends up post-December and to see how that goes for them. But in terms of Spidey kind of stands on his own, I think, as like the shining light. The last film was such a humongous success. We had a really good time with it, though we did say at the time, if you hadn't had all the multiverse elements and the other Spideys coming in, it wouldn't have been half as good. And I think for this one, I've seen a trailer that did nothing for me.
Same.
I'm excited to see it because I love Tom Holland and I love Spidey and I love this world that they created. But I don't yet know what the hook of this film is.
There's a Hulk. There's a hook Hulk. There's
Is Mark Ruffalo in this one?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, I love him. He's a great Hulk.
You know he's in it from the poster. This has one of the worst movie posters of the year. And it had a lot of great teaser posters.
Yeah, but we've seen one with Brad Pitt and a dog.
That's bad as well. But the movie poster that they seem to have gone with for the final run of the promotion of this movie is look it up. Google Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Why don't you just put it as the episode
It's
picture?
this blue, sky blue thing with like Spider-Man in the air on one side and then the Hulk and all the villains in midair on the other side, as if they've all been catapulted towards Spidey. None of the angles are right. The eye lines are wrong.
Dave, your interrogation of the poster is not interesting.
Kathy, podcasting is the ideal format in which to critique a visual
Anyway,
medium.
we'll put that as the picture, the episode, so people can see it. I see the Punisher is in this.
Yeah.
Is he playing the Punisher?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Who else would he be playing?
I didn't know the Punisher was in the Spidey universe. Was he in the previous movies?
So you didn't know that there was a Marvel Cinematic Universe that connects all these characters
No,
together?
I didn't know that Have we seen the Punisher and Spidey before?
No.
Right, okay, yeah. Obviously we've seen them together in the Odyssey.
Yeah.
But we've not seen them together here. But you're the number one Spidey fan in this relationship.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Fine. How are you?
Why are you being such a neg?
I don't care.
Have you been burned?
I am burned to death. Stop the superheroes. Burn them all. I'm sick of it. Listen. By the way, for everyone, you all know I'm going to come out of this and I've had a great time, and then I'll be singing its praises. But also, please, God, stop. Just stop.
We're the ones who are here. First of all, episode is a day late because we usually come out on a Sunday. Apologies. We're here on a bank holiday Monday in the rain, sitting in our car. We booked the tickets a week ago. You're telling me that they shouldn't bring these out because we could not be more sad for this film.
The film is incredibly successful already. Like, we're watching this on the Monday, it came out, and it's made like $1 billion worldwide nearly in one weekend. It's probably gonna be the biggest film of the summer. And yes, we'll be getting Spider-Man forever. But your question to me was, am I excited? How do I feel? Yeah, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. Star Wars was my favorite thing growing up. I'm tired, Kathy. I'm 42 years old, and they're shoving this thing relentlessly. They're killing us with this stuff.
You're 41.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm 41 years old. And I feel 42. This stuff is aging me. I'm like, more back rooms, more obsession, more. That's the story of the summer for me.
We did say.
And the Odyssey. That's what I want. More of that.
Oh, the Odyssey, that original IP.
Where did it come from? It's so fresh.
We did say last time when we really enjoyed number 3, we did say though that like we felt like after this it needs to be Miles Morales and it needs to be Spidey Gwen and it needs to like move away from the Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They didn't take our advice.
No, it's almost like they're not listening to us.
But I mean, Tom Holland's he's a great Spidey. I just hope. Like, what's happening with the Miles Morales? Like, that movie's been delayed, part 2 of Spider-Verse.
Yeah, part 3.
Why isn't he in the live action? That bit I don't understand. And like we've waxed lyrical on this podcast about the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse cartoons. Like we have said they are like better than all the other Spider-Man movies because they are. And I know
better than all the superhero
he's
movies.
in the Spidey and
best superhero movie ever made.
Yeah, amazing. He's in the Spidey and his Amazing Friends, like kids cartoon, obviously, which our kids have loved, as is Gwen. But I'm curious if any of that bleeds in here per our previous predictions. Probably not. I also have to say that I really love Tom Holland and Zendaya, and I think it's so cool that they like met and fell in love on this franchise and are now married. And I think
that's
it's made
3 for 3 on Spider-Man's and Mary Jane's.
It's pretty cool.
They all got in relationships.
These ones got married though, and they're in the Odyssey. Like he literally came out of he walked out of the Odyssey press tour to walk in the next door for the press tour for this. Like it's
crazy.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. So I'm kind of delighted for them because they seem really nice, and I think he's really cool. So yeah, I'm pumped, ready to go.
All right, let's see you. We'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Hi, my name is Peter Parker. You don't remember me, but we used to know each other. Something bad was going to happen, and the only way to stop it was to make everyone forget about me. Because I'm not just Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man.
What the hell, Frank? You just hit me with a van!
Quit your whimpering. Suit yourself. Mother.
Go home!
And sometimes Spider-Man has to do the hard thing, even if it breaks Peter Parker's heart. What is happening to me?
Okay, hello, we're back. We've seen Spider-Man Brand New Day. If it's your first time here at the Cinemal, we won't spoil the movie until, of course, we get to Spoiler Street. Kathy, what were your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that?
I really enjoyed it. I had such a good time.
Just as well you didn't swear off Marvel movies.
I
for
know.
life.
It's a good thing I didn't swear off these movies after the second one. I think there's something very nice and familiar about being at a Spider-Man movie, first of all. It's a nice feeling. I love Tom Holland as Spidey. I think he's absolutely brilliant. And I love Zendaya and I love his friend Ned. So just all of those characters have a really nice familiarity to them. I think this was really heartfelt movie. Like, there's a lot of emotion in it. It's a really good story and script. I cried actually loads of times and I laughed loads of times. I think it all came together really well. And I also often and basically always give out about Marvel movies and the third act has like a giant terrible action scene. This didn't do that. This had legitimately good action the whole way through that made sense for the plot and wasn't just like the Empire State Building like collapsing and Spidey trying to, you know, rescue the city or whatever, like boring thing they usually do. So I think this, like, all my complaints about these movies, aside from the fact that it's not Miles Morales and should be him at this point, I like putting all the bits aside where I was like, oh, Tom Holland's doing it a bit long, they should shake it up. Within the context of keeping it as a Tom Holland Spider-Man, I think it's really good. And I was really happy to see our cinemas absolutely packed. Like, it's wall-to-wall Spidey and Minions. Really well-behaved cinema audience. Like, everyone was really enthralled by the film. And I love to think of something that, like, all age groups, but particularly teenagers, are coming out for and, like, having that shared viewing experience. So, yeah, I'm really happy about
There
it.
were all ages at that. It's one of the old 4-quadrant movies.
It really is, though, yeah.
Everyone turned out. And
I'm
it
really-
is great
really-
to see the cinema busy.
Yeah, especially on a rainy Monday of a bank holiday, you know, like, it's the perfect thing to be doing.
What a summer for cinema.
It's
Like the
been
Odyssey out there breaking
Yeah.
records. Everyone's turning out for the Odyssey, for Spider-Man,
for
for all the
Minions.
YouTubers.
Look, it's Paw Patrol next week. That's going to be huge.
Poor old Moana can't get a break.
Anyway, what did you think?
I thought it was brilliant. I
Yeah.
really thought it was excellent.
I heard you crying at one
I
point.
did cry a lot. I agree with everything you say. I think it might even be the best Tom Holland Spider-Man movie.
Like,
I think
they've been released by the title, you know, Brand New Day. They were like,
Yeah.
Jesus, we can be better, and we don't have to talk about Homecoming.
I feel like this has a new director, and I think he did a good job. The director of Short Term 12, and he did the Shang-Chi movie, and he did a good job at this.
which I think we
at
liked.
that.
We saw so long ago.
We did like that.
Yeah.
It was good. So very competently directed, but I think the writers here, whose names I don't have to hand, but it's two writers who cut their teeth on Community, which was a great sitcom back in the day, starring one of the stars, Donald Glover, who was rumored to be Spider-Man around the Tom Holland era and had a cameo in the Homecoming. They've written all the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, and I feel like they've really evolved over these last 10 years, and they really just get this character. And this is, as you said, it's very heartfelt. It's very emotional. What I really appreciated was that I think the MCU movies, I think, have a very terrible habit over all the years of like doing a big thing at the end of a movie, and then either doing nothing with it or waving it away at the next movie. So, you know, spoilers for Spider-Man Far From Home, for instance. But like at the end of that, it's like the big thing is, you know, Jake Gyllenhaal has revealed to the whole world that he's Peter Parker. And then the next movie like spends the first 20 minutes undoing that. And then it's gone.
Yeah.
And then we're on to a new problem. Whereas I felt like this movie picked up the baton of the end of No Way Home, in which nobody knows who Peter Parker is, and really leaned into that
Yeah.
to wring a lot of emotion from it. So the movie finds Peter Parker and Spider-Man in a very lonely place, and I think this movie tested Tom Holland in his acting ability more than the others have, I think. And I think it's his finest performance
He's
as Peter
brilliant.
Parker. I think
He's
he's
really
very
brilliant.
he's very good in this. And I'm delighted to say that after I thought he was very poor in the Odyssey. I thought he was the weakest link in
He
that movie.
wasn't.
Yes, he was.
But now that I'm glad I saw the Odyssey before this, because I'd have been like, why Spidey in the Odyssey?
No,
he's so good.
he's excellent
He's
in
like,
this.
he's a perfect casting, isn't he?
I thought the movie, yeah, he's perfectly cast. The movie plays very well with him bouncing off of John Bernthal, with him bouncing off of Zendaya and his friend Ned, and I just felt like I just don't think this movie put a foot wrong. there's a few surprises in there, which we'll talk about in spoilers, which I thought were handled very well. This felt like a very, very strong entry for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it made me feel excited again for Spider-Man and for superhero movies.
We didn't stick around for the end credit scenes, but
No, because my new trick is I don't care anymore about these things, and they're usually so many times we've been burned by them where you sit and you wait, and then it's
terrible,
inconsequential or pointless, and I find them insulting. So now I just Googled them, and I just Googled it, and it sounded like
tell us on Spoiler
complete
Street.
waste of time.
Tell us on Spoiler Street.
Yeah.
What I'm pleased that they didn't do, and I was expecting them to do, was like just be heavily trailing the Avengers. Basically, like already before it aired, we had to watch basically 2 trailers for the new Avengers movie, and this feels very disconnected from that, and I'm glad, because the other thing that Marvel used to do terribly was they were always so busy setting up the next movie that you couldn't enjoy the movie you were in. And I think it's only because it's Spidey we got away with not having to do that. But like Chris Hemsworth is being so serious in the trailer, and Dave said like, how dare they spent 2 movies making him like to be a complete fool, and now they expect us to take him seriously again. Which is true. So yeah, I really love this just as a standalone movie, and as like, it's really good because it could end his Spider-Man. It could end it on a, what's that word? Quadrology? It could end him on 4 movies, and it's a perfect run, but I'd also now happily watch another one.
It doesn't feel like it's kind of over either, though.
It could be, though. Like, it's Spidey. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, it could be.
I mean, he's now the longest serving Spider-Man, Tom Holland.
I like that they skipped forward 4 years as well, because it's a joke now if they're telling us he's 18, 19. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what the thing. The movies have aged along with him. I mean, they're doing these for 10. It'll be 10 years next year, and I feel
but the first movie though, they're like the first 3 movies
really
are in high
teenagers.
school. They're in high school.
But that's what I mean. I feel like the character evolves in the comics. He's become an adult. Although Kathy pointed out a very good question to me at the end. The movie never addresses a critical question. Where is he getting his funding from?
Sorry.
Does he have a
Peter
job?
Parker is a photographer, right? That's his trade.
Yeah.
How is this Peter Parker funding his lifestyle of living in New York loft?
All we needed was one scene. Like we see a scene of Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire where he's delivering pizzas, and living in a shitty apartment.
Mm-hmm.
We know Tom Holland's Spider-Man in this movie is living in a shitty
unemployed.
apartment, but like he's got to be like, where's he getting all this technology?
I'm thinking that Aunt May left him a hefty amount in the will.
Possibly.
But
yeah.
there could have been a note about that, because
No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work because in Spider-Man No Way Home, Peter Parker was erased from existence. So so he can't. So she wouldn't have known. So that would have mean that her will's mention of Peter Parker would have been.
Okay, sorry. My other question then is, and please
got nothing from that.
Please don't give me a really laboured response on this. It has to be quick.
Okay.
But in this world, where's Tony Stark, and where's Marvel at? Because maybe Tony Stark's funding it.
He died. No, Tony Stark died in Endgame. Remember?
Because I was.
You don't remember Tony Stark dying at the end of Endgame and having a funeral where every character in the world came
I
to
sort
him.
of remembered, but then I know that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back again, so I'm a bit confused by all that.
But he's coming back as Victor Von Doom, and according to the trailer we just saw, is doing an accent.
Right.
Watch out.
So, but is Spider-Man, is Tom Holland Spider-Man in the Avengers still?
No, he was never an Avenger.
But he used to hang out with them, like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did, yeah.
So maybe they're someone is bankrolling him.
But they're not, because nobody knows who Peter Parker is.
Tony Stark's the stage.
Tony Stark's estate is funding. Maybe they're funding Spider-Man because people know who Spider-Man is. Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, it's like I just can't deal with the character being unemployed and no reference to.
I think you're right. I think Spider-Man has a PO box addressed to Spider-Man, who people do know, and the Avengers are funding him posthumously via Tony Stark. Kathy, you've cracked it.
I've cracked it.
I'm amazed they didn't just work that in as a line of dialogue. As you know, I'm being posthumously funded by Tony Stark.
I also I love him and John Bernthal together, and we had been reading about how they actually were both together in a film that had been shot in Ireland before either of them were in the Marvel universe, and I'm like,
and they each helped each other with their Spider-Man and Punisher auditions allegedly.
Apparently,
which is a lovely little story.
If that's true, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Did Tom Holland say I want my buddy John in this movie? Because the Punisher is an adult
no, he's
character.
already in the.
I know he's already in the universe, but
thing.
the Punisher is a really adult TV show which we watched and enjoyed. The Punisher being in this is not like, and I loved it, by the way, and I think it worked so well, but it's not exactly like rolling
No,
off the
this
tongue.
isn't. No,
Or is it from a comic?
If you think, yeah, no, Spider-Man and the Punisher have been in loads of comics.
Okay, thank you. I
If
didn't know
if
that.
you think that the how Marvel works is Tom Holland makes a suggestion and
Probably
they go,
does, though.
maybe that's a great.
Like,
no,
Tom Holland
it
will obviously be
absolutely works the other way around.
But Tom Holland would also be like, you're never splitting like Spidey and MJ up. Like, Zendaya cannot be written out of those movies. As long as he's in them. Like, that's his
imagine
wife,
if they
like.
suddenly were like, no, he's with Gwen Stacy now.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I would imagine he has actually got a lot of creative control as like their number one bankable star when all their other films are a
Especially
flop.
when they've got that much. They have so much chemistry
they're
on screen, that married couple.
But they are like
Yeah.
Zendaya, like MJ and Spidey when they're together. I was bawling,
Yeah,
crying.
it's really good stuff.
They're amazing together.
Okay, why?
One more thing before spoiler
Go on,
street.
yeah,
This
yeah.
isn't a spoiler because you said it's already on the poster that you talk too much about.
Yeah, but you don't. You've
Mark
done
Ruffalo.
this before.
Mark
Okay,
Ruffalo.
yeah. You can talk about him.
So happy to see him back.
Yeah.
I love him. We actually did an episode
He's great.
a few months ago on Patreon. We watched 13 Going on 30 for anyone who wants to listen. He's so good in that. He's so good in this. He's the perfect soulful, nice dad figure who's also hot. I remember him last being in, like living in space and self-exiling. Did we know he was a
Yeah, that
professor,
was-
or is
my
that
God.
just is
You're-
that just
No, that was so long ago, Kathy.
Right,
That
okay,
was in
fine.
that was after Avengers: Age of Ultron in 2017, 16. I
So
wanna
did we
say.
know he was now a professor who wore like an inhibitor all the
So
time?
much has happened since
Okay,
he
don't
went
tell me,
into
don't tell me,
space.
don't tell me.
Do you remember he met Thor in Thor Ragnarok, and then
I have struck
how do you
Thor Ragnarok from the record of my brain.
Thor Ragnarok you loved?
Did I?
Yes.
Oh.
How do you not?
I don't remember.
You
There's
love
too
that
many.
movie.
Like, I don't understand.
You need to go back and listen to our podcast for your own memories.
We have a podcast where we watch all these movies, and even I can't remember them. How is the average person who goes to see all these movies supposed to remember anything that happens in them?
I don't know.
I think that's why Spidey standalone and has to be, because they need us to remember Spidey.
Yeah.
Whereas I think back a lot of those movies, I'm half remembering they were ones that were just set up for the next movie and therefore like meant nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we should go to spoilers though.
Okay, so spoilers now for Spider-Man Brand New Day, but you might hear a quick ad. Okay, just before we do get into spoilers for the movie, a quick shout out to some of our new patrons, and shout out to all of our patrons, in fact, over at patreon.com/thecinema, who support the show on a monthly basis for the price of less than a price of a cup of coffee or a pint, because they're really
They're
expensive.
crazy
these days.
expensive. Can I say that it was really fun listening back to our old Spider-Man episodes, and one thing that really struck me on all of them is how often we referenced Twitter and how much we were on Twitter, which we're not anymore. And this Patreon community has like really replaced Twitter for me, because in the Patreon chats, so our patrons get like bonus episodes where we cover loads of TV and we do retro movies every month and things like that. But the app is brilliant because we've got all these different threads and chats going for like TV, movies, video games, music, books. And it's such a lovely community, and I just wanted to shout out that aspect of it because I actually think that's the best part of it. And that it's so funny. I couldn't believe how much we talked about Twitter in our own episodes, and now our only source of like movie bands is like within our own Patreon community.
Oh, it's a lovely community. I'm so proud of it, and I'm so thankful to everyone who contributes on a daily basis. We're in there chatting to people,
amazing.
and we got to meet some of them in London.
We
this
did
year.
at
Was
our
that
show
this
in
year?
January, yeah. And if
Yeah.
anyone isn't or doesn't want to be on Patreon, we're also on Apple Podcast subscription, so you can go in there and there's a 7-day free trial on both Apple Podcast subscription and Patreon. Right, back to the
We
shout
are
out.
very grateful, but
Yeah.
a shout out to, we got a lot of new patrons recently. I'm going to shout out some of them and say thank you. This isn't everyone, but we'll get to everyone at a later date. So thank you to Brendan Marsh, to CEE, to Jeremiah Pam, to Loina, to Eilish, to Linnea Minich, to Aoife McElduff, to Queeveen O'Donnellan, to Evie Lumsden, to Aoife, to Bev McD, and to Yvonne, and to everyone else who has recently subscribed or continues to subscribe.
Thank you so
over
much.
at
And Dave, I
patreon.com.
love hearing you trying to read out all the names.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, famously easy to do.
Anyway,
right.
spoilers.
Yeah,
for Spidey.
spoilers. So,
First of all, we didn't know Florence Pugh was going to be in this, did we?
no,
Love-
that wasn't.
I
That
love
was a
her.
little secret. I mean,
I-
they love keeping secrets. The
And that
Marvel
is-
people.
Because I knew we'd seen another movie that sort of recently. It was that one with her and
The
David
Thunderbolts.
Harbour.
Yeah, that was good.
Thunderbolts.
We liked that.
We really liked
Yeah.
Thunderbolts.
Was that last year?
I can't remember, but we did really like
Yeah.
it. So I was just very pleased to have her in it.
Yeah, she's always great.
I had forgotten that I had seen Sadie Sink. Is that her name? I had seen she
Yeah.
was in it and then forgotten because I've not paid much attention.
Sadie Sink, shout out to Sadie Sink really for having to endure the most grueling promotional tour as part of this movie, where she sat through interview after interview after having been instructed by Marvel not to tell anyone who she is.
Oh, so we didn't know she was Jean Grey?
No, they wanted to keep it a secret, but obviously everyone figured it out
Because she's got red hair.
Got red hair. I mean, it's
Of
brilliant
course.
casting. So she had to sit through I saw so many grueling, painful interviews of her being able to say nothing. She can't answer any questions. She can't say anything. Imagine having to do that. And then people saying, like, are you Jean Grey? And then people trying to come up with different ways of, like, somebody said, what if I said 2 words to you, like, I bought a new pair of jeans and they're grey? And she's like,
Or what if you read my mind?
Yeah, so
what do we think the casting process was
grueling
here?
stuff.
So I'm a casting agent. This is my job.
Yeah.
You need to find me the most famous teenage, early 20s redhead actress in the planet. Great, I've got Sadie Sink for you.
who's familiar with sitting around in a chair with government people experimenting your mind while you stare at them and go, oh.
Like, she's really good. We reviewed all the last couple of seasons of Stranger Things on the podcast on Patreon, but we, like, she was done very dirty. Like, she spends most of one of the seasons just like in a coma.
Yeah.
She's really good. I was really
She's
happy
great as
about
Jean
the
Grey.
I
That's
didn't
great
know. Did
casting.
you know the Jean Grey thing? I never knew it.
I knew that that's the most
Oh, you
common
knew the
theory.
speculation, yeah. I didn't know that at all. I actually thought, I got really excited because when we saw her with the hood, I thought she was going to be Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
And I've been hoping Spider-Gwen or
But
Miles.
Spider-Gwen doesn't have mind powers.
No,
so
but
I
she had
never
the
thought
hood. So, like, what are you giving her the hood for? You're confusing me. So I thought she was Spider-Gwen. But no, I think that was really fun. So, like, I had seen before the movie in the interminable amount of trailers that there was also an X-Men one. Is she then in the X-Men movie playing Jean Grey?
I don't know, possibly.
Because that would be cool.
That
like,
is
that's
a different
legit
X-Men
cool.
universe, though. That's all the old X-Men movies, right? So that their universe is Jean Grey, is Famke Janssen.
Wait, was it that there was a new X-Men, or was it that the cinemas are doing an X-Men season and showing
You're
old
mixing
ones?
up things. So the X-Men, the old X-Men are in the Doomsday movie at the end of the year because
Very confusing.
because Disney bought every company.
Okay.
And so now they all exist under
So
Disney.
surely she's going to be in that as Jean Grey, or why would they bother?
Possibly, I don't know.
Anyway, I thought she was really good. I really like her, and I loved how their plots converged with both of them, like, being experimented on or somewhat because of their natural or supernatural abilities. The really interesting stuff about Peter's Spidey evolving, that was all class, wasn't it?
Yeah, good. This is all mined from the comics as well.
Mm-hmm.
This has been done, he evolves into... At one point, I remember in the old 90s cartoon they did this plot as well where he turns into an actual spider.
I feel like I remember that. It's like they've gone too far now.
So
We're not here to
it's
watch an
o-
actual spider parading
It's an old thing to
around.
play around with. I thought it was done to pretty good effect, and it opens up a gateway. Like, Peter has invented... There's some interesting breadcrumbs here for a future, probably more for the X-Men universe, where Peter has accidentally
Mm-hmm.
invented the means to control people en masse and play around with the genetics. So
There was
two
real
people-
X-Men shit.
yeah, because they always, in the X-Men, they always had those collars
Mm-hmm.
which prevent your powers. So, like, Bruce Banner kind of questions him in that great scene in
I
the
love
university where he's like, this is a slippery slope. MJ says, are you sure you want to be messing around with genetics here?
Yeah.
I thought all that stuff was very interesting. They never really went... I thought they would go further with it. Like, I thought he was really going to mutate
I
into
thought it was going
something.
somewhere else, but I think they're tempering. Oh, I swear we're not being so lazy. You can now hear the rain on the car. It truly is
It
lashing
has
rain.
been raining.
I think that stuff was all really well done. I loved the stuff with when Sadie Sink went into his mind, and then when she went into Zendaya's mind and she like tricked him. I thought that was all really
That
well
was
done.
great.
And then I love, again, in such a movie that's like really targeted at teenagers, and a lot of young men will be watching this film, I love the message around consent when later on he says,
He lets her into his
he
mind.
says to Zendaya, when when she possessed you, she kissed me and I kissed you back because I thought it was you and I'm really sorry.
Oh, yes,
So he's
yeah,
apologising
yeah.
for like non-consensual kissing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a lovely way to bring that in. So I thought all of that was really well done. And then when Zendaya like read, like that scene where he's fixing his suit and she's on the bunk bed and they're chatting, like it was so good.
There are so many good scenes in this
Yeah.
film of just people talking, which is I was really impressed with the depth of emotion and friendship that they were able to conjure up. Like the scenes, there's so many good scenes. Yes, that scene, every scene with him and MJ is brilliant.
Perfect, yeah.
The scene with him and Ned building Lego and she's drawing a
stop.
picture of
That
him.
was, I was bawling.
That's adorable.
I was bawling crying
Yeah.
for that scene.
And
I
then,
mean, I cried like
and then they
10
paid it off
times.
later again with her putting that picture in the hospital
It was
bed.
so
And I
sweet.
also love that the film gave us like what we all want in that scene with MJ on the roof when it's Jean Grey in her head, when she snaps out of it and it can easily be undone. You know, the magic kiss. Even the
Yeah.
writing here is very good. You know, like you know, she's so mean, Jean Grey, in this film because she's been so hurt.
Love that.
But the and then they you know, they dangled the happy ending in front of us, but then I feel like they settled on the more mature adult ending where MJ is like, listen, I'd love to love you, but I don't have those memories. And she speaks of a her, you know, those, which is exactly right. That's not, you can't love someone if you don't know them and you don't.
Yeah, but if they look like Tom Holland, though.
It's not that simple. But the movie,
I'd
the
go
movie
for
left
it.
the door open. She invited him up. She wants to know him.
I love that.
It's great. It's really good.
Perfect writing. Now, where I'm a little bit confused is, so first of all, I thought Jean Grey was going to do him a solid after he rescued her, and I loved that whole scene with him and her and Aunt May in his head. I loved all that and the message of it
Can
all.
we pause on that for 1 second?
Yeah.
Just because, I also thought that was an excellent. I love that they've figured out
Another
with
time I
this
heard you
and
crying.
Thunderbolts that had me really crying. That with this and Thunderbolts, and I won't spoil Thunderbolts, but they both end without without stopping the big bad guy by punching them in the face or with violence, or they do it through an emotional scene in somebody's mind.
Yeah.
And I thought that's beautifully handled and really touching and really moving. And also it reminded me of like Peter, this is Peter maturing, where Tony Stark was the one who was there for Peter and he was his mentor at the beginning as he sort of grappled with his superpowers. And he's doing that now for somebody else.
It's lovely, yeah.
Which is a lovely
And
sort
she's
of
got
full
no one in the
circle.
world, and he's been so lonely, and like the loneliness is so pervasive throughout the whole film for him.
Oh my God, and it was so well expressed.
Yeah, and she's like, Jean Grey is like, no wonder like you're forgetting yourself, because like and like no one said his name in years. Like when he's going out the window and MJ says Peter and he turns around, I was like, oh, no one will have said Peter to him for 4 years. Like he's no identity. But where I thought she was going to do him a solid was, given how all powerful she is. And sorry, shout out to the actor whose name I now forget from Severance, which is also a show we recap every episode
Tremaine
on Patreon.
something,
He was love to see him showing up in
Imagine
this.
casting, like I found all that
casting's so
stuff
good.
was good, but if you've seen a movie before, this all played out incredibly
Oh yeah, I mean
predictably.
obviously he was a baddie.
You
But
don't,
it's a comic book
you don't
movie.
cast
Like
Tremaine and
Yeah.
an evil government agent.
it was predictable, but I would have liked to see him get to do a little bit more, possibly
Yeah.
a dance, but we can't get everything. But anyway, I thought that in the end, she would, when she was so powerful, that she'll have done a solid and like used her mind bending things to like restore their memory.
That might be beyond her control.
But then
Because
what doesn't
this
make
is
sense to
that's
me-
magic, right? The magic changed the fabric of reality. I
Yes.
don't think her memories exist. They've been written.
I agree, I concede. However,
go
how
on.
the fuck does Ned know the handshake at the end? That wrecked my head.
I've an explanation for that.
Muscle memory?
Because your that's muscle memory. It's
Yeah, but
literally
surely
his-
the spell obliterated all memories. Otherwise, when MJ kissed him, she'd have remembered him
I
instead
don't know
of
the
French
T's and
kissing
C's
him.
of the spells.
No,
If
it doesn't make sense, because otherwise Zendaya kissing him would have brought it back.
yeah, and I think muscle memory is different
Bullshit.
to active memory.
Absolute bullshit. That
Yeah.
right at the end when that happened, I went, huh?
Ask Doctor Strange.
No, because I cannot stand Doctor Strange, and I would not speak to him if he was near me. But no, like that little bit at the end of the film, I was like, you've ruined it now.
Oh really?
You've
You
gone
didn't
too
like
far.
that? You
Ned
know?
does
I
not.
thought it was nice.
Ned does not know the handshake. Ned should have just been like, flower guy. Then he says Peter, and then he realizes he's Spider-Man because of the scene with Zendaya. But he does not remember their magic handshake.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
She's getting really worked up about
the
this.
other thing, I love John Byrne and Paul Him together. I love their
Yeah,
chemistry.
they were fantastic
However,
together. Oh, go on.
and actually, The Punisher is a show I really enjoyed when I watched it. I hate, once again, the level of gun violence in an American movie.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, that is okay. Look, I agree. That's an ongoing
Like,
problem
one of the
with
worst
media.
things
Yes.
in America is their gun violence, right? It's horrific. Like, schools are being shot up every day in that country. Why, in the biggest movie of, that will be the biggest movie of in years, that all the kids are going to see, why are there guns and why is there gun violence? I'll
Okay.
never understand it.
Listen, I agree with you, and I have similar feelings as to the glorification of gun violence in mainstream media, and you can look at movies like John Wick or whatever as particularly bad
The
examples.
Punisher
But-
could have been in this without guns.
Well, no, this is where I'm going to disagree with you, because yes, you could do that,
Yeah.
but that is fundamentally opposed to what that character is. That character is literally, his superpower is guns. That's what if you're going to do the Punisher, he comes with guns. He is.
But then I would argue they shouldn't be doing the Punisher.
Well, then
Yeah.
that's fine, but you don't. A Punisher without guns is ridiculous. Literally, he is an ex-military guy who goes on rampage, killing sprees, and kills criminals with
Yeah,
weaponry.
but Dave, I implore you to use just a smidgen of imagination here. They're so good together. They're so funny together. They've brilliant banter. They could have done everything in this film without the Punisher having a gun. The gun was superfluous to anything that was happening. I know at the end he injured
But
Spidey,
if any-
and Spidey had to save Jean and sacrifice himself. But that could have been done with anything that wasn't
you
a
could
gun.
read it as him, that apology at the end being like his solution to, and I thought this was an interesting idea where Spider-Man and the Punisher can be friends, but they fundamentally have different moral compasses and approaches to tackling.
But can you just see,
villains.
can you just admit what I'm saying?
the
That,
Punisher
with a
kills
bit of
people.
imagination, the
He-
Punisher in a movie, a
Sure,
12
I'm
kids
not,
movie,
no,
did not need to
I
have
get it.
guns.
I'm not saying it's not impossible. I'm telling you that would be against what the character is.
Are you cosplaying as the white male nerd in the corner of the room?
No, I'm just telling you. I'm telling you I just don't. If you're gonna do the Punisher without guns, it's just silly.
No, because the stuff
and
that
the
was
mo-
interesting about him was where he lived,
No, but
how he acted.
the movie is saying, right? Okay, the movie was here's a problem. Jean Grey is a problem. We have to stop her. Spider-Man has one approach. His approach consistently was, and he says to Spider-Man, "I'm going to put a bullet in her head. She's too powerful. I'm going to put a bullet in her head," because that is the Punisher's approach to everything. He kills villains. He kills someone who's a threat. He attempted that and hurt his innocent friend. That's potentially the Punisher learning. Maybe I can't solve everything with bullets.
Maybe, but they could have been a bit more explicit about that. Went back to the fact that this is a kids' film.
But look,
Like
I agree.
a line from him saying that would have been quite
It's not
nice.
a kids' film, but I agree. Do we need 12-year-olds? Okay, here's another question. Fine. And by the way,
It
I
is a
am
kids' film,
I am
though.
with you.
It's a family film.
I am with you in the we have too much glorification of
Thank you.
I'm with you 100%. But don't come for my Punisher. Firstly, and secondly, if you're bringing him in this zone, it is a bit tricky. Do you think the film glorified gun violence? I don't think so.
I think he came in looking really, really cool with the guns he was shooting at the Hulk.
Okay.
Really cool.
In
So I do
at
think
moments,
it was glorified,
at
yeah.
moments, yeah.
The
Potentially.
best visual of the whole film is the sequence where the Hulk, the Punisher, and Spidey are fighting, and
Brilliant.
Spidey gets the Hulk with one web and the Punisher with the other web, and the Punisher was shooting up at the Hulk. That was the best visual of the whole film.
Oh, very cool.
It was
yeah, yeah.
really cool.
There's some great stuff in here.
Yeah.
Action-wise. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought the whole Spider-Man and the Hulk falling off the building, and then all
brilliant,
the pieces
yeah.
of the building, and then he wraps his web around the Hulk several
Mm-hmm.
times, traps him to the building, and then those pieces of the building start pulling the Hulk down.
It was really
like
good.
very well thought out sequences.
And
all
actually,
the
the
time
Hulk
there's
was almost trying to kill himself then. Like, the Bruce Banner Hulk stuff is always so sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is the Hulk seemed to remember Peter. He said, "I'm Peter, I'm your friend."
How would the Hulk know Peter? Remind me.
I guess because as you said, Peter Parker was known to Tony Stark and the Avengers. So Peter Parker was. He was working with them.
Did they
throughout
know
all
he
those
was Peter
films.
Parker?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So, because he said, "I'm your friend, I'm Peter Parker," and he seemed to remember him. The Hulk did.
Yeah,
So
that's
maybe the
interesting.
Hulk wasn't affected by that because he wasn't alive, in existence at
Maybe
the time?
because
I don't know.
at the time he was Bruce Banner, not the Hulk.
Exactly.
So therefore, oh yeah, interesting. I always think Bruce Banner's Hulk looks so good. Like it's a really great use of
Yeah.
CGI. I think what else? I think we've kind of discussed everything, haven't we? It's a good time. I'm very happily go and watch another one
It's
of these
real
movies
good.
like next week.
I thought it was interesting that the marketing obviously did very effectively revealed who the actual villain is. So the trailers and the posters, I think, did a good job of making it seem like the antagonists in this film are the Hand and Scorpion, and the Hulk did feature.
Who's the Hand?
The Hand were the Red Ninjas. But really they're not
They're
even
not in
in
it,
it.
yeah.
And Scorpion is only in a couple of scenes.
It has been, honestly, like in terms of all the marketing for these Spideys has been brilliant.
I think they did a
Yeah.
really good job,
Like
except for that
last one.
terrible poster. But
In the last
everything
one,
else good.
when we didn't know about, they didn't use the other two lads in the promotion
And
and
even
stuff.
though we all kind of knew, and it's a rumor, but like they did a good job in the last two movies, of keeping. These
I mean, the
things
Jean Grey thing,
locked down.
as someone who's very, very casually keeps an eye on the trailers and like bits, I hadn't even heard the Jean Grey thing, so I literally was shocked by that.
Right.
And I'd say a lot of people will be. I hadn't heard any speculation, and I've paid no attention to, like, the only press junkets I've seen are just like Tom Holland and Zendaya looking gorgeous
But like,
and amazing.
what I loved about it was that it's not like the worst level of secrecy. You get things like, Doctor Strange and the multiverse of good movie. I liked it, but the multiverse stuff needs to stop, and they know that clearly. And
the multiverse stuff.
So you get this stuff where like it's like, oh look, it's John Krasinski as Reed Richards and all this kind of stuff, but it's just like, that's fine, it's fan servicey, and people go, oh wow, okay, but it's like that doesn't mean anything,
No.
and it's not interesting. Whereas here, it wasn't just like, oh, Jean Grey, like the DC, the worst stuff was in like the Justice League, where you'd had Lex Luthor looking at somebody looking at a computer, and you see everyone's logos, and you're just like,
Yeah, I know.
oh wow.
But these films are so powerful.
This
that,
film
like,
was like, it had Jean Grey's name on a screen, so you get the little hit of everyone going, whoa, it's Jean Grey.
Yeah.
But
didn't
actually, she's
matter.
an interesting character who I was invested in.
There'll be a lot of young
emotionally.
people at this film who don't know X-Men, don't know Jean Grey, and it won't matter at all.
Yeah.
I think for this film, you only really need to understand. You only need to have seen the previous film, which is quite a feat in a
even
Marvel.
then, yeah, even
then you'd get away with it. Like anyway,
Can
we
I?
better
Can I?
go,
One
though.
last thing before I go,
Okay.
and I don't want to Google this because that's not fun. So write in and tell me. There's a movie. Maybe you won't remember, Kathy, but maybe you will. There's a movie
dare you.
that you definitely won't. There's a movie. Kathy, we've just sat here for 20 minutes and had you ask the most insane questions. Your memory is fascinating to me. Like, isn't Hulk in space? That's the last thing you
but,
remembered.
I've seen 40 of
The-
these films. Like,
Yeah,
forgive
that's
me
fair.
if I can't remember
That's
them
fair.
all.
Do you remember a film from the 90s starring Denzel Washington in which he is a police detective who's hunting down a villain who hops from body to body in the exact same way
No,
as
but it sounds great.
Sadie Sink does? It reminded me so much of that movie, and it's like an angel or a demon, and he's a police officer, and it keeps hopping down and taunting him this movie was identical to that in the first half.
No, I don't remember that. But thank you. I shall Google it after this and not
Let
tell
me know.
you.
No, write in,
Not tell you.
everybody.
If anyone remembers it, yeah.
thecinemail@gmail.com, or join our Patreon and pop the answer.
Or come
in
on
there.
Instagram. I was laughing so much back to
Fallen,
our...
I think it's called.
I don't know.
Fallen.
Instagram at the Cinema. I was laughing so much at our Spider-Man season where we were like, come follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And it was just Instagram now and Blue Sky and YouTube and TikTok.
Come follow us on two of the most evil companies in the world.
It's so funny
now.
because it's like listening back to the old episodes, it's like a digital marketing lesson, you know, over the years. We didn't have Patreon at the beginning, but boy, did we have X. Anyway, come over, say hi. And if you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rate and review the podcast, because we really, really appreciate it. And it means a lot, especially to an independent podcast. If you can do that, it makes a big difference to us.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice flowers.
Oh, they're a housewarming gift.
I'm MJ.
I'm just a neighbor from across the hall.
Friendly neighbor.